Today on Locked On Rockies. Well, it's a win, and Austin Gomber has been great, and the home runs are cool, but there's still things that I'm a little frustrated about after last night.
You are Locked On Rockies, your daily Colorado Rockies podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Rock on Rockies fans, welcome into the Locked On Rockies podcast for today, the 23rd day of May in the year 2023. I'm your host of the Locked On Rockies podcast, Paul Holden, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. If your team is the Colorado Rockies, you are in the right spot because that's what we do around here each and every day is talk Rockies baseball, free and streaming on your favorite streaming services, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk on those streaming services as well as the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel, where you can be part of the show. You can help the show grow. You can support the show by subscribing, liking the videos, commenting, letting me know what's on your mind, just like Tracy635. In Jake Cave's defense, he's our second best outfielder. He's hitting something that the lineup needs. The young outfields aren't hitting. Cave has taken advantage of his opportunities. The young outfielders have not. Thank you, Tracy. But Tracy, remember, are the young guys getting enough opportunities? Something to think about there. But as always, Tracy is just one of many people always giving us some wonderful comments in the comments section. And like Luck says, it sucks how we had the same exact problem last season, blowing leads that should be wins, and the front office did nothing to improve it. Improve it. I know it says approve it, but I'm sure it meant improve. But the bullpen been frustrating in this series. Absolutely. And that even includes the game last night as Austin Gomber dominant. I mean, Austin Gomber, we're going to dive into how great Austin Gomber has been, but we are going to get into all of that and more on today's episode of Locked On Rockies. But before we do that, we got to tell you that today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. From brakes to exhaust kits and beyond, eBay Motors has over 122 million parts to keep your ride or die alive. With all the parts you need at the right prices you want, it's easy to bring home that big win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay guaranteed fit only available to U.S. customers. Folks, the Rockies won last night. It was something. Look, a win's a win, and you always take that. But this team, man, I mean, there's just so many missed opportunities. There's just, I mean, and this is against the Athletics. I mean, I'm a broken record at this point. I keep saying missed opportunities, but it's the, I don't know if it's the biggest problem, but it is one of them, because it's not only missed opportunities, but it's missed opportunities in the way that they're missing them. The Rockies yesterday with runners in scoring position were 2 for 17 against an Athletics team that is bad, against that Athletics team that shouldn't have this much success pitching against you, that shouldn't be able to completely stifle your entire offense with just the only damage you can do is hitting home runs. You have to come up clutch there. In total honesty, the way that if the offense wasn't as broken as it is and reverting back to this version of it, wonder what changed about the lineup lately in this series. Anyway, but to only be able to score, I got to get the weird stat here. Let's go get this one, because there's a couple. So I'm gonna be doing some sort of some digging around here, but it's kind of unacceptable, to be totally honest, to be 2 for 17 against the Oakland Athletics with runners in scoring position. These games shouldn't be close. In reality, the Rockies should have blown the Athletics out in both of these games if they actually were able to have clutch hitting, if they were able to come up big. But unfortunately, as we saw in the first game, the Rockies couldn't capitalize with runners in scoring position. I guess they weren't so bad actually in game one. I thought they had more runners in scoring position in the first game. So I was wrong there. They were only 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position in the first game against Oakland, but again, 2 for 17. Like these just wide ranges, these just crazy stat gaps. It's just mind-boggling sometimes how the Rockies can be so ineffective, but yet able to get on base. 2 for 17 with 11 strikeouts yesterday. Like, that's abysmal, man. I mean, I know it's a win, but you can't sit there and say that was the best Rockies effort that was up there. Because if your name wasn't Ryan McMahon or Elias Diaz, you didn't do anything yesterday. Brendan Rodgers had a couple of hits. Hunter Goodman had a couple of hits. There were people that got some hits, so I shouldn't say nothing. But the Rockies, plain and simple, need to be better than that. I mean, it's the Athletics needed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people to get through that game yesterday. I know it went deeper into extras than it normally does. But even before that, even before the game ended, it took almost 6 pitchers, 5, 6 pitchers for the Athletics to get through that game where the Rockies had Austin Gomber. And you're sitting there as Austin Gomber, and he's sitting there sweating like, oh, classic, like story of my life with the Rockies. I can't get any freaking run support when I'm out here absolutely dealing. Here's a stat from OptaStats. The Rockies are the first team in MLB history to hit a multi-run homer in the first inning and a multi-run homer in the 12th inning or later and score no other runs in between. It's just another weird, wacky thing that the Rockies are doing. But when you really look at it, and then you look at the missed opportunities, and the Athletics are sitting there saying the same thing too, by the way, because they were 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position yesterday. They had chances too. And it reflects on how good of a performance Austin Gomber gave yesterday and how good Austin Gomber has been of late. Austin Gomber is off to easily his best start in his career. And Austin Gomber is also solidified himself through the first 10 starts in elite company. Let's see here. This is from Thomas Harding. Left-handed pitcher Austin Gomber's career high, tying 8 innings with 1 run, 5 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts, lowered his ERA to 2.76 and made him just the 7th pitcher in Rockies history with a sub-3 ERA through 10 starts. Baseball Reference provides the rest of the list here. So it's Ubaldo Jimenez in 2010, Mike Hampton in 2001, Tyler Chatwood in 2016, Tyler Chatwood in 2013, Roger Bailey in 1997, and Marvin Freeman in 1994. Harding added to that tweet that he said there where he gave us this stat. Gomber mixed a fastball, a strong curveball, and a changeup at sea level or below as in Oakland. He uses his curveball more than his slider. Whenever you're out here in California or on the East Coast, it's just going to be a little bit easier to make the ball move. Gomber, man, we've been critical here. But he goes through these stretches where he shows you that he can be solid. And not only solid, this is good pitching. This is great pitching. This is a great start to the 7th pitcher in Rockies history to have to be under a 3 ERA for the first 10 starts. And think about how bad the Rockies have been. Think about how minimal run support Austin Gomber has gotten this year. Think about how much better Austin Gomber's season would look if the Rockies actually performed around him. Same with Cal Quantrill. Both of these guys have given you exactly what you need from starting pitching throughout most of the season, and the offense has been the problem that failed. That's what's annoying about last night. You cannot afford to waste the starts that Austin Gomber and Cal Quantrill gave you. They understood the assignment. Cal Quantrill and Austin Gomber were getting an opportunity against one of the worst teams, if not the worst team the Rockies have played this year, depending on how you view Miami. And what do? They come out and they dominate. They do their job. And then the Rockies in back-to-back games, they jump out ahead with 2 runs, and it's like, all right, great, boom, exciting, here we go. Rockies in the lead, momentum, but then a wet fart for the rest of the game on offense. Winning the series it's still a series win. It will still be a California road trip with 2 series wins, and that's a good thing. But breaking it down, these are the issues. The flaws of the Colorado Rockies got in the way of a win yesterday. They were able to pull it off, and they got in the way of the win on Monday. The Rockies should be looking at a series sweep right now, not just a series win. And not one where they have to fight tooth and nail and go down to the wire because the bullpen can't hit the freaking strike zone. We're going to take a quick break, and I don't know what I'm more frustrated about right now, the bullpen or the offense. We'll talk about it coming up here next on today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Before we do that, though, got to tell you about some of the folks that help make this show possible, and that includes PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app, and I know you like fantasy sports, and this is a cool, fun spin on fantasy sports. So basically say you're going to be tuning into the Rockies, right? You're going to be watching Rockies athletics, and maybe you want to take think the Rockies offense is maybe going to pop off, or maybe you're going to feel confident in the Rockies pitching staff getting it done here at the back end. So you just take a group of players. Let's take Ryan McMahon here, and we'll take Ezekiel Tovar and see how many hits they're being offered for the game. Maybe it's 1, 1.5, 2, and then you go and say more or less. So I want more on the Ryan McMahon hits. I want more on the Ezekiel Tovar hits. I'm going to PrizePicks today, and I'm believing big in my Rockies. I'm picking a bunch of Rockies players, and I'm taking the more on their hits. I think they can do it as long as I don't got to face that Mason Miller guy, because if they maybe, or maybe on the flip, you want to take the Athletics pitching staff and hit the more on strikeouts for them. You can do it all and see all the stats and players available for you on the PrizePicks app, and you can get in on the playoff action and win up to 100 times your money. That's right. It's not just baseball. They got you covered with all the sports action, as it is full swing with the playoffs, and you and the world's best players can take the game to a new level during the postseason. PrizePicks now offers Apple Pay for quick and easy deposits into your account this basketball season, so you don't have to worry about missing any moments. Test your might when it comes to daily fantasy sports, and download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's a $100 first deposit match when you use code LOCKEDONMLB on the PrizePicks app. PrizePicks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. This is the Locked On Rockies podcast. We are free and streaming on your favorite streaming services, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies podcast right here on those streaming services and the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel. Thanking you for making us your first listen of the day. Really do appreciate that. Really do appreciate all the support on the YouTube channel here, and all the folks tuning in. And remember, you can let me know what's on your mind, what's good things, bad things in the comments section, what's stewing around in your brains there. As Rockies fans, let me know. And hey, if you need more sports action, maybe you're looking to mix things up with your daily sports coverage, well, you can check out Locked On Sports Today. They're the new 24/7 streaming channel available to you on YouTube and the Amazon Fire TV services. You can check them out there. If you want to mix it up a little bit and hear from some more Locked On hosts there from across all of the leagues. And of course, you can get all your Rockies play-by-play action all season long on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app. Don't miss it out. Just search Colorado Rockies there. Hey, I haven't listened to any, but Trace, let's see. One of our commenters here, Tracy, mentioned in one of her other comments a great game calling by Jenny Kavnar. I should have tuned in. I should tune in and get a little bit of Jenny's call, I think, on the finale today, because of course, we want to give our props or give our shout outs to Jenny Kavnar for what she's doing over there in Oakland. I'm not buying into the people that are not even giving her a chance, not even giving her a time of day. We're not even going to get into that, but I think it's cool. I think it's cool to see, and it's always cool when you see how the Rockies do kind of, people when they move on from the Rockies, especially in like Rockies media, you can kind of see that they go off and really learn their chops and can be successful there as well. There's a reason why Ryan Spielborgs is so involved with so many things in Major League Baseball. It's because it's not only because of his work on the field, but because of how much stuff he's done with the Rockies. He's been able to help branch out into his radio show and into calling games himself now. I mean, it's been pretty fascinating to see how often Drew Goodman hasn't been on the call this season. I'm sure it's I know there's probably a lot of stuff going on, and I know he's recovering from a serious skiing accident over the off season there too. So, but I think it's interesting there too that the Rockies have had booths where Goodman isn't in there, and things like that. I don't know what the rules are, and in the middle of things like that, but it would be cool to get some of the radio guys. Sometimes here on the Seattle games, sometimes the TV guys are on the radio, and sometimes the radio guys are on TV. It would be cool to kind of get Jack and Jerry, I think, on the TV side, but it'd also be weird not having them on as my afternoon walk. I mean, that's usually my prime way when the Rockies play a little early. The radio, the premier way to listen to the ball game. I love listening to a baseball game. Do you like to let me know if you're listening still too? Let me know if you guys like listening to the ball on the radio. I actually, it's all the other sports I like listening because if I'm driving, I can follow along and it's easier than trying to like stream it and play it through the speakers or whatever. But baseball just feels right for the radio. And I know that's it's got a long history steeped in that. But all right. My little side tangent aside there. Who's been more frustrating? Actually, before we get to the frustrating things, I want to again just give Austin Gomber props, man. This is a guy that has fought a lot during his time in a Rockies uniform. This is a guy that has took a lot on and went at it head on, had struggles, navigated it. And now he's being very successful. And I really like when you're listening on the broadcast yesterday and they're talking about how much he plays to the game plan, how much he factors in sea level to the pitch mix. I mean, he is a smart guy. And I really like that this approach is paying off for him. Now, the thing with Gomber, I want to see the full season. I want to see the sample size get larger, but this is 10 starts. I mean, this is not a fluke. This is not something you can sit there and just say that it's a random streak. This is Austin Gomber's process and plan is working. Austin Gomber's approach is working. Austin Gomber's game prep is working. It's going to have to continue to work, and it's going to have to work against, like we mentioned after this series, elite level talent coming through town and the Rockies matching up there with the Rockies facing, 3 of the top teams in the league in their next 3 series. But right now, as of this moment, Austin Gomber is pitching as one of the best versions of himself, easily the best version of himself that we've seen in a Rockies uniform since he started pitching for the club. 2.76 ERA in those 10 starts, 58.2 innings pitched. He's got 41 strikeouts in that time with a whip of 111. The issue maybe with Gomber, 17 walks still a problem, but he's up to 41 strikeouts right now. He's nearly at half of his total yesterday of last year in less than half of the innings pitched. He's another solid game where he gets some more strikeouts, and he's already going to be on pace to have more strikeouts than he had last year at 87. So the improvements are there. What Austin Gomber is doing is working, and his philosophies and mindsets are what we're hoping for. He has been great, and he has been someone that deserves more support for his team because his season would look even better and more impressive if they backed him up. All right, so hey, the one other good thing too about this series, the takeaway, even though it's an infuriating way to only score this way. Hitting the long ball. I mean, the Rockies are a team that don't hit a ton of home runs, that haven't hit a ton of home runs, and now they've had big home runs now in back-to-back ball games. That's been how the offensive production has been done for basically all of these teams as well. I mean, it was a homer for Oakland that got them to make to cut the lead down, and then a couple of singles and such to bring it within one again. But the Rockies just doing their damage on the long ball, which you'll take it. But man, what I don't understand, Bud Black, I don't know why his approach in extra innings is so bad. The Rockies often don't score in the 10th. And I don't understand why the Rockies do not bunt the first run over and then hit the guy in from third. It just simply does not make any sense to me to not guarantee that you score that run. Because realistically, for the Rockies to not score twice in extra innings, to survive 2 shutouts in extra innings is pretty remarkable, to be totally honest. I mean that it just goes to show that the bullpen was able to lock it down, but they didn't do themselves any favors. They couldn't stop walking people. They couldn't, and they couldn't close the game out at the end. And that's what's infuriating. It's the Rockies' offense falling flat, and then the bullpen unable to come back and back up their guy. Jalen Beeks, 2 hits, an earned run, and a walk. Nick Mears, a walk with and they're able to hold on there. But it's just like you can't come in and walk people right away. You can't, like, those they're so dangerous at that situation. The bullpen needs to be more nails, and nails they have not been in this series. If the Rockies had lost that game yesterday, man, that would be a tough one to come back from. The Rockies really need to win this series again. I mean, you got to get the positive momentum going into this upcoming homestand, especially in this series you had no business losing. So here's hoping today the bullpen backs up the Rockies and the offense actually comes alive and starts taking advantage of a team that's getting deeper into their rotation as well. This needs to be something that the Rockies that need to take away with a win today. They should have gotten it in the first game. They got to get after this. Another young guy that has struggled out the gate in his first appearance. It's only been one appearance from Joey Estes, but you got to go out there. He gave up 2 long balls. He walked 4. He got 9 strikeouts though in 8 2/3 innings pitched. So you got to be able to take advantage of that, and hopefully Elias Diaz keeps swinging the way he does, because Ryan Feltner keep the team in a position to win, and the offense has got to back it up, because they need the full team effort to get the series win, and then the road trip you feel a lot better, especially when you win 2 out of 3 and the series that you were supposed to win in Oakland. All right, let's take a quick break and let's talk about Ryan McMahon, because I'm pretty positive, if I'm going to call it today, if I was to say right now, pick your Rockies all-star, I think it's Ryan McMahon without a doubt. Let's talk about that coming up next on today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Before we do that, though, got to tell you about some of the folks that help make this show possible, and that includes eBay Motors. eBay Motors has got you covered for your ride or die whenever you need your car parts. Passion, drive, and patience, the formula for winning championships, is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered with over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die. You'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time, or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit is available only to U.S. customers. This is the Locked On Rockies podcast, for free and streaming on your favorite streaming services, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where you can find your team every day. Don't forget your Rockies action on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app. Just search Colorado Rockies. And hey, thanks again so much for making us your first listen of the day. Really do appreciate that. All right, so if I had to vote for the Rockies All-Star this second, right now, it would be without a doubt Ryan McMahon. Ryan McMahon is playing one of his best versions of baseball this season, and I hope it continues throughout, because this is a signature moment where it could be entering in a couple of seasons where, if this is the standard for Ryan McMahon now, then Ryan McMahon is going to grow into the elite third baseman that we thought he's going to be. The problem often has been consistency, and the problem has been with Ryan McMahon's striking out, trying to do too much. But now he looks like a more mature ball player, in the sense that I know he's been playing for a while and he's been very good for a while, but go to his Baseball Savant page and just look at all the red. I mean, it is, and if you compare it to last year, there's still some graying, and there's still some solid numbers, but the jump so far in terms of everything being up in terms of advanced statistics for him, that includes the extra batting average, the extra OBA, the extra slugging, the average exit velocity, the barrel percentage, the hard hit percentage, the sweet spot percentage, the walk percentage, all scream up the charts here when you compare it to last year. Walk percentage in some of these ones are they're still there, but you can tell the massive improvements that Ryan McMahon is making, and then you see really some of the biggest improvements. You'd still like more, but his whiff percentage and his strikeout percentage are also improving compared to last year. Mixed in with the fact that he is batting very well. He's batting over 300 right now. He's got a 383 OBP. He's slugging 508 with an OPS of 891. He's hit 9 long balls this year. There's a chance, at this rate, there's a chance that Ryan McMahon could be flirting with 20 home runs this year if he continues at this, all while playing that elite level defense. I mean, I don't know how his StatCast fielding is so impacted. I think it's impacted by the slow start to the season and some of the issues because he has booted a couple of balls, but still played great defense in my opinion. But Ryan McMahon right now is in the top 3% of exit velocity in baseball. He's in the top 5% or top 7% of Major League Baseball in XBA and XBA slugging. All of the advanced metrics, basically. I love XWO Bacon. That is, I don't quite know that one, but here's another one too that's good. In the top 3% of the of baseball when it comes to hard hit percentage. That, I mean, when he hits the ball, he's hitting the heck out of the ball, and he's seeing the ball well, and he's contributing night in and night out consistently for this Rockies team. 29 RBI on the season for him as well. This is the signs are great. I would love, I mean, Ryan McMahon in his career has only his highest RBI total is 86. I would like to see Ryan McMahon surpass that this year. And I think that he can surpass that this year, given the fact that I think the importance he serves in this lineup, the role he's going to be playing in this lineup, where he's going to be slated into this lineup. He's had big moments this season. He's come up clutch. And I think that he has matured into a guy that I think understands. I think he understands and wants to himself prove his case a little bit more, show off a little bit more of what he's able to do. Because we talked about so much. We've seen the flashes. We've seen the hot streaks. We've seen the moments where you sit there and you say, Ryan McMahon is figuring out. Ryan McMahon is piecing it together. Now we're seeing it at an extended sample size this year, and hopefully we're going to see it throughout the season, because this is probably the most impressed I've been with Ryan McMahon in a long time. Last 30 games for Ryan McMahon, he's batting .276, .351 with a .500 slugging. He's walked 14 times in that time, driven in 18, hit 7 home runs, and 35 strikeouts at the time. Of course, strikeouts still the problem, but I think you can tell he's going to strike out a lot. That is no doubt about it. But he is much better at not striking out. The adjustments he has made in his swing, the changes he has made in his swing, clearly made an impact on how he is getting to the ball and swinging and missing. Still going to be an issue, and like we say with everybody with strikeouts, it ain't just him. It's the entire Rockies staff. It's a team that still struck out 11 times against the Athletics yesterday. It is more of a Rockies problem than just a Ryan McMahon problem. But if his strikeout numbers go down this year and everything else keeps going up, I mean, you can't help but not be. You got to be excited. I'm sorry, you got to be excited about it. You can't not be excited. That'd be crazy. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna. I think a successful Ryan McMahon season means the Rockies commit to Ryan McMahon. I don't know, because you never know. But I find it hard to believe if Ryan McMahon is playing at the level that the Rockies have often thought and have always believed he can. I don't think you see him. I don't think you see the Rockies move him this year, or really ever. Maybe. I mean, they're looking at Ryan McMahon, I think, right now as the 29-year-old third baseman that hits for power, that's got Gold Glove defense, and they're pretty happy with what they're seeing, especially when you got that great shortstop next to him as well. What they do at second base, that'll be an interesting one, even with Brendan Rodgers, who's been hitting the ball really well lately as well. The Rockies infield making things interesting for sure, but man, got to give props to Ryan McMahon. Got to give props to Austin Gomber. They have been great for the Rockies. Folks, that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Rockies. We got your series recap coming up and lots more on the show, so don't miss out. Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Rockies on YouTube so you don't miss out on any of the videos and anything that we do over there. Find us on your favorite streaming services. And for your second listen of the day, go check out Locked On MLB with our friend Sully. He's also doing the Locked On A's podcast right now, too. I think we might be we're going to try to do some stuff with Sully here, I hope. So I'll follow up on that. But until next time, you can go check out Locked On Broncos, Locked On Avalanche, Locked On Nuggets, Locked On Buffs for more Colorado sports coverage. And until next time, I'm Paul Holden saying so long from the Locked On Rockies podcast.